for coming out. We're going to go ahead and get started. If you don't know who I am, my name is Coach Epps. I've been around here for the past few years and coach athletics for the youth. So you see me in the other places. Yeah, I do this for the youth. So myself and Coach Smith, if you stand up, and Coach Buck, where you at, if you stand up, we came together and we created Copperas Cove Express Track and Field. And this is what we're here for. We're going to talk about what we expect this season, the things that's going to be happening this season, and for all you parents and kids to get registered and get acclimated to what we're about to bring to Copperas Cove. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and start with Coach Smith, give him a few pointers on who he is and what he does for the community, and then we're going to go to Coach Buck, and we're going to get to the rest of the staff.
All right. First thing first, my name is David Smith. I've been in the Copperas Cove community since 2019. 2020 when I got out the military, and I just made a vow to myself that whatever community that I ended up in, I was going to impact and invest in the youth athletics, as well as just the regular community. So I had that opportunity coaching football at first, and just pouring into the kids that what was poured into me when I was a young adult and when I was a kid. So I know a lot of my parents ask me why I do this and why I do that, and I tell them it's simple. My coaches did it for me. My coaches was always there for me. I had family members that wasn't even there for me, and my coaches were. So I always wanted to give back to people and let them know I'm forever indebted, and I'll be working for the rest of my life to pay that off and report it to these kids. And I want them to be good character athletes, and I want them, even if they're not successful in athletics, to still go back in their communities, wherever they end up, be pillars in their community and pour into the youth just like I did. So that's important to me. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't even matter if they're air sports. Academic stuff, we got some stuff planned on working out too, but we just want to bring the community together and bring the youth together, bring the parents together, and let everybody get excited about this area. I feel like this area had its time, and now everybody's sleeping. So we're here today to start shaking things up and waking them up and getting everybody back excited about something positive in the community. Like he said, we decided, it was talks. We met up with Coach Buck. A lot of my team moms and my team parents was behind the scenes working, and what if this Coach Alvin and Martinez family, we would always sit and talk about different things that we can do, and now these things are coming into fruition, and it's happening because of you guys as well. So I just like to say thank you for believing in us, for showing up today, even if you are skeptical about what's going on, but just the fact that you're here, I really appreciate that, and we're ready to get started. We're ready to make a change in this community. Thank you.
I'm head coach on the girls side of Copperas Cove High School, and kind of like Smith said, I've been here for a very long time. I grew up here in Copperas Cove. I ran summer track here. Built a foundation for me, the family that I built. When the Five-Field family was Coach Griffin and his staff and his athletes that he had there. And I feel like Copperas Cove has been missing that for a very, very, very long time. Five-Field has been good head coach since a very long time. And so we just want something to have an opportunity for y'all kids and our family members to have as a background of Copperas Cove. A lot of your kids do football, do basketball, do soccer, do volleyball, do track, and we just don't have a outside source of a team for Copperas Cove. We have plenty of talent here in the city of Copperas Cove. I've coached here since 2012, 2013. I see athletes come in and out of Cove, and they always look for a track team to be a part of. A lot of kids go to Clean, a lot of kids go to Organzation, and we haven't had a real stable team here in Cove. As you can see up here, we're building a staff of good amount of people that y'all can lean on, that y'all know that are really faces that's been around here, that's going to support y'all throughout all the endeavors of athletics. And we just want to be here for y'all. So this great new team of Copperas Cove Express, very excited to have such a big showing today. We really haven't touched on the elementary schools here in Copperas Cove, neither the junior high or that much in the high school. So we're still going to have more of an influx coming in, but this is a great foundation to start with. And this is pretty much the foundation of Copperas Cove Express. So if you can look around this room, this is going to be our family. And that's what we want to create here in Copperas Cove, is a family environment where we can push each other, motivate each other, and do good things throughout the entire year, if not during our primary sport. Track is something that we can do year round. It is a long time, longevity skill that you can learn. Mechanics, the benefits of it, and you can carry it on throughout your entire life as we do as adults too. So we're real excited to get this thing going. Sorry to take a lot of your time, but like I said, it's been a long time coming for our track club here in Copperas Cove. So we're very excited to have your staff alongside us, able to take charge of this and see where we can end up with such a great opportunity for y'all as a business. So once again, thank y'all for listening, thank y'all for showing up. One other thing we can do as a unit, as a family, is start to spread the word around the city of Copperas Cove. Word of mouth does way more than a lot of things. When you try to put stuff on the internet, it's only going to talk to so many people. But word of mouth, and talking to people that y'all trust, that y'all know, friends and family, to come and actually participate in this is going to help us tremendously too. We can find more coaches that win, while y'all talking to the individuals, and we can find a bigger influx of students and athletes to help us out in the future. So once again, very excited to get this thing rocking and rolling. So once again, thank y'all for showing.
I've only been here in Texas for the last 2 years. I was born here in Texas, so I'm trying to learn more about it. But I want you to know that I sat in a conference call, and I think I have a pretty good background. The rest of the people up here has something equal to and greater than. So I want you to know that your children are going to be well taken care of. I just want to say thank you and appreciate it. All right.
Antoine Smith, Minister Antoine Smith in the community. I go by Coach Truck. I just believe that I'm always the guy. If you get to know me, then you know I'm always going to be the one that's going to push the spiritual side of things, because I believe that the spiritual dictates the natural. So if we can get it right in the spirit, then I can help you win in every other level in your life. Amen? So I'm here, whatever I can do to push the kids to be successful on the field, on the track, in school, in their health, however we can benefit them past the sport. Because I just personally believe that what we're teaching here are life principles. And if we can help them get it right now, then we can shut down the prison system. So whatever I can do to help your kid grow here in the future, just reach out to me. And if I don't have it, I'll make sure that I work tirelessly to find the resources that's needed to help them get where they need to be. Thank you.
How y'all doing? My name's Chicho, born and raised here in Texas. I retired in the Army in 2010. After that, pretty much in the finance world. Now it's pretty much my time where I want to give back to the community. I never grew up with any of this. I was around it, but just didn't have that opportunity. Definitely have kids. All my kids are about 9.5 years apart. Every one of them are kept active, on a good positive mindset. So it's everything that I want to do, and ideally having your kids, kind of grow up with that strong mindset. For me, I mean, it lets me kind of relive that through their eyes and their heart. So ideally, I know by half the people here, I really don't know them personally, but I know everybody's on a strong mindset. So with positivity and strong mindset, that's actually what we're just trying to implement. So I want to be a part of it.
Most people know me as Coach Robinson. I am from Chicago originally. I've been involved in youth athletics since '94. All right, so that means I was 12. All right, so, joined the military fresh out of high school, completed 20 years and retired infantry. I was a drill sergeant, master resiliency trainer, level 2. So one of the biggest things I learned during my military time was discipline. All right, attention to details can get you a long way. All right, and as well as teach, coaching, and mentoring. I got back into youth athletics once I moved back here to Cove through my brother-in-law, Coach Buck, and they got those juices flowing again. And this has been one big rewarding opportunity to be a coach and to see the development of all our youth. Each year I see them come out and they either playing basketball, football, soccer, what have you. So when we get out there and do track, I am very, very excited to see where our youth start from and where they'll finish. So just because they start this year, it's not to keep going. It's not going to finish as they continue to age through Copperas Cove Express. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to work with you all.
Hey everybody, my name is Rick Pinkney. Just call me Coach Rick. I see some of my athletes in the room. I'm glad to be here, be a part of the program that Coach Buck and Coach Epps and everybody else up here has put together for the youth out here. My journey in sports started at 6 years old, and then I started track in 1993. And it was one of the things that kept me off the streets as a kid in South Florida. So this is now my time to get back. I've been involved in almost every event in track and field, whether through the decathlon or just as an open event. I will be specializing in the hurdles and some of the sprints and relays as Coach Epps decides to utilize me. And we want to help get these kids not only ready for their next level, but work on all the aspects, smart, tough, fast, discipline, and with character. So thank you all for having me, and I look forward to being able to train your kiddos.
My name is Brittany Armand. I was born and raised here. Been here my entire life. I've been in sports my entire life. Don't you I've been in sports my entire life out here. It's a really good feeling to actually now be able to put my kids in sports out here. So to be involved in such a dynamic is very, very important to me. It's something I've always enjoyed, and I continue to enjoy doing it, and I really look forward to doing track. I've coached softball and baseball. Those are kind of my two favorites. I'm excited to touch the track and see what we can do.
So I'm Selena Norton. I used to run track in high school. It was fun. So I'm excited to see the kids and how they come through this year. My son's never run track. He used to play football, basketball, t-ball, all the balls basically. So I keep them busy as community together. I'm really excited to help the kids learn, and I'm also enjoying success as well. So if y'all have any questions or concerns, please let me know. If I don't have the answers, like Coach Track said, if I don't have the answers, I can call me too. I will get y'all the answers because I'm calling everybody. But yeah, if y'all have questions, let me know.
Hi everybody, I am Erin Bellamy. I grew up here, moved away after high school, came back. After I had a family, I felt like this was a nice place to raise my kids. 3 boys, they play football. I try to keep them active. I will be here helping with the girls with the track. If y'all have any questions, just let me know.
Not much what she said. Tennessee, Alabama. I'm glad to see I want to see what we do this year in track.
So parents, we have an actual special guest, someone that's going to help you feel the emotion of track, someone who's doing it, who's been into it, who's a parent of it, and also an assistant on a track league and clean. We're going to let Coach Smith bring him to the stage.
Yeah, this is a very near and dear friend to me. Just like my sister, we're from the same area in South Florida. And me and my son, we ran track for the Vipers last year. And we didn't know what to expect. I knew maybe like 1 or 2 people was in the organization. And she was one of the ones from day one welcomed us in, showed us love. And I can say from that track club, it was a real family environment. I never had to worry about anything with me, my son. Everything was on time. Any questions I had, fast reply. I never walked into anything in the dark when I got there. So she understands my vision, she understands my purpose, so she knows that's the only reason why I left that track club. But again, just the extension for her to even come here and assist with everything, and also the president of the Vipers has assisted me and Glenn, going through, gave us pretty much the blueprint to help us out once he understood what we were doing. So they knew, I love them, they will always be a part of my family, but they understand that I had to come back here and lay the foundation here in this community. So I really appreciate her coming, and she's just gonna give you guys the insight, with track up, because I know a lot of these gentlemen and ladies have run track, but times are changing a few things, and I know they're still in touch, but she'll give you a point of view from admin and as a parent, and just for any questions that you have. She's the oracle right now today. All right, so she'll give you a little bit of something, and she'll stay as long as she can. She had to push some things back for us.
Thompson, and like Coach Smitty said, I'm not from Cove, I live here in Cove, but because a lot of stuff wasn't here in Cove, it kind of pushed us out to Killeen. So my kids run track with the Vipers Track Sports Association. Obviously, eventually, you know, I'll end up shifting them over, but that's where they are. From a parent aspect, we went in because I ran track. I have a background in basketball, as also in flag football. My kids, they do basketball, they do track, they do football. My daughter's doing softball now. So we kind of, we are getting around in the sports field around here. When we came in with track, we did not know what to expect. Texas sports as a whole with AAU, that's different from state to state as far as how AAU is ran. But as far as being here in Texas, one thing you guys do need to realize and understand, these kids initially are not gonna, unless they're just a true athlete, they're not gonna like track at first. They're gonna come home and they're gonna tell you, Mommy, I hate it, or Daddy, I hate it, I don't wanna run, and all the other stuff. But your job as a parent is to encourage them, push them. Don't let them give up at the first sign of adversity. We've had so many kids that tell us, man, we don't wanna run track. Then as soon as they get out there, they go to their first track meet, it's like a high for them. It's like, oh shoot, oh, I can do this, I can do that, and they're on it. Like, they get addicted to it and they don't want to stop. Also, another thing for us to, just for y'all kids alone, understand, just because you're fast, there's always someone faster. Do not think that you're going to medal in every event. Your job is not to compare yourself to someone else. Track is it's a team, but also an individual. It's more individual than it is team. It's more for you to work on yourselves, work on your strengths, work on your weaknesses, focus on your times, focus on things that you can accomplish. Do not compare yourself to somebody else. The moment you start comparing yourself, you start doubting yourself, you start getting down on yourself. That's why you guys have coaches. So kids, I'm telling y'all because I've seen it firsthand, verbatim. You might win a heat, that does not mean you win that race. So do not get down on yourself. Focus on your beginning assessments to your ending assessments. You'll see that from the beginning of the season, you might be running in 100, you might run 18 starting the season out. But with your coach's guidance, it sounds slow, but if you see the times and the charts and all the other stuff, by the time the season ends, if you're listening to your coaches and actually taking your training serious, you could be down in 15, running with people in your age groups. So definitely make sure you guys are paying attention to y'all coaches when it comes to practices and stuff. They're gonna push you, that's their job. To love on you, but to push you. Now parents, track is the dedication. It's not a, hey, I just need y'all to come out here and do something. Track is a dedication. Me personally, I understood that, so I didn't mind investing into my kids. So I knew what it was going to take. These track meets, the organization will cover so many track meets for the children. But parents understand that you will need to bring cash, you will need to have money on you guys because it will cost a good bit to get in some of these track meets. Also understand that whatever event your child is running, a lot of times you will be at these track meets all day. From about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning till about 7, 8 o'clock at night, depending on the track meet, depending on the events that they're running, and depending on their age group. It will be hot at a lot of these track meets. So for us, I know I had told Dave and them in advance because he thought I was playing at first, and I was like, nope, make sure y'all have y'all tents. I know a lot of people from football or other sports may have a tent, but I guarantee you it's very important to have a tent, chair. If you can get, Academy has these cots. They're like $50. Invest in a cot. It might sound crazy right now, but it's going to become very important when these kids are just sitting and they cramping or they just down, they don't have anything else to do, they wasting time, they're waiting on their next race to come up. Invest in one of those cots because you really don't want them sitting on the ground. Sometimes you don't know what's on those grounds. So invest in something that you're taking care of your child during that sport. Also, invest in coolers. I don't care if it's a cheap cooler. Invest in coolers. It is going to be very, very, very key for you guys to have coolers. They don't charge you for coolers. You bring your cooler to whatever sporting, whatever track meet you want to. Make sure you guys have, I feel like this, don't bring greasy foods. Track season is going to be very key into paying attention to your child's health. Kids are you're gonna see kids out there running around eating nachos and eating turkey legs and eating all that, but it plays a key part in them running their next race. If they're not finishing a race and being done for the day, like that's it, they just ran their 2 races and done, then you giving them a turkey leg or something. Other than that, be careful of not to give them heavy, greasy foods, because we have a lot of people that be like, oh, they hungry, they didn't eat, and they hurry up and get them that stuff, and then those kids go out there and they cramp up, they hurt, their bodies break down, and then they can't produce out there on the tracks as they're supposed to produce or as you would want them to produce. Also too, it's going to be important that you might want your kid to run every race or every track meet. Oh, I want my kid to go here, I want my kid to go there, I want my kid to go there. But actually being in this field our first year, we ran probably like 10 track meets. We saw that was not productive for these kids. They were hurting. Because we're pushing them like, hey, you want to be this, you want to do that, you got to go out here, you got to go run these races. But we're not giving the kids, their bodies, a chance to recover. So take into effect, they might want to run multiple track meets, like, oh, okay, I want to run because such and such going to that meet, or such and such going to that meet, I want to run it. You as a parent or as coaches, y'all got to be able to pull back and be like, no, we can't go to that meet, we can't go to that meet, you hurt. Because some of these kids are very athletic, they're going to want to run through that hurt. And if this is their first year running track, and even if they haven't ran track in a while, they're going to have shin splints, they're going to have injuries, they're going to be hurt. But as a parent, it's just up for you guys to buy a whole bunch of Epsom salt, invest in ice, and let them know that ice bath and them soaking in the tub is going to be their best friend. They might hate you for it, but it's going to be their best friend. I promise you. Limit their meats, but also take care of their bodies. Cut down their sugar intake. It makes a big difference on their bodies. Also, making sure that when you get to these meets, it's the little things that count. So kids like to run around. If you can make sure that you hone in, I know kids are going to be kids, but try to hone in on the kids and try to keep them in a certain area. That's where the family aspect comes in. You see somebody kid in your organization running around, hey, come sit down right quick. Because that kid that's running around, that's fine that they running around, or their parent might let them run around. When it's time for them to go run their race, they don't have energy. They're all out there gassed, and they can't produce out there on the tracks because they're out here running their engine. And it's hot out here in some of these tracks. The weather is going to change. Some of these kids are going to get sick because of the weather out here. Some of them are going to dehydrate. Hydration is very important out here. Kids might think, oh, we good, I had a juice, or I had a soda or a drink. Nah, make sure your kids are drinking plenty of water and electrolytes. You as parents just have to take into account that they need electrolytes. They're not gonna know they need it. They want sodas, they want juices, they want that sugary stuff. Y'all can't allow them to have it out there on the tracks and out there at the meets, because that stuff is not gonna be productive to them running and doing what it is that they need to do. With whoever you guys get as your team admins are going to be okay. So your team admins, whoever decides that they want to be a team admin, you guys are going to need at least 2 team admins. Your admin's job is going to be parents. You are going to go to your team admins to get the information that you need. Your team admins are going to push the information out to you guys. The coaches will coordinate with your team admins as well as the presidents of the org. The admins help alleviate the stress coming off your president and off your coaches. Your coach's job is to coach your kids. They may not know every answer, but that's what your admins are for, are to release the stress off of them so that they're not stopping what they're doing trying to train young children into asking them a whole bunch of questions. They might want to know the answers, but that's for them to have a meeting and get to that information after the fact. Also,
catch me talking just some close-up shots, not too close, and then that'll be good. I'm letting sis do her thing.
And I've already talked to Coach Epps. They are free to call me, even though I admin for another organization. They are free to call me, free to reach out to me. I always answer everybody's questions, although I am a busy person. I answer everybody's questions in a timely fashion.
You see it.
But to also understand, these coaches all coach different positions in different events. Every event is not going to be at every track meet. So if you go to a track meet, say we go to Marble Falls, I'm just going to give you an example. That's always our first track meet. Marble Falls in the beginning of the season does not have field events. So some of those track meets might be shorter. So be mindful, whatever event that you put your child in, it may not be at that track meet. So high jump may not be there, long jump, shot put, that stuff may not be there. Also too, be mindful, for kids who are 12 and under, they are only allowed 3 events. So that means they are only allowed to do 8 and under, they're only allowed to do the 100, 200, and 400. That's it for that 8 and under group. That's all they're allowed to do. And they may be allowed to do a relay depending on like 7, 8 range. But everybody else under that age group is only allowed to do the 100, 200, and 400. For any kids that are 8 to 12, they are allowed to do all of the other events at the track meet. So do not be alarmed and do not be upset when they say your child can't run this or your child can't run that. That's just AAU. That's just how they move around here.
Pick it up tonight and
if you see that your child is not strong in one event, and you felt like that's the event that you want your child into,
but I'm already working on
you are
30 so
allowed
much.
to change that event, come to the next track meet. They don't have to stay in that one event. If they ran a 200 and they ran a 100 and they ran a 400 and you see that, hey, well maybe that 100 is not for them, or maybe that 200 is not for them. Okay, well you can shift them. You can put them in shot putter. You can put them in, make them run an 800. If you see the 400 is strong for them, keep them in the 400. Wherever you see your child's assessment, if you see that your child is strong in that event, hone into that event, because that is going to be the event that actually takes them to the next level in this sport. So the coaches can only do so much, but if you see something that's not where your child's strong point is and they're not excelling in this, hey coach, can we switch them and put them up in this event? And stuff like that can be done. Events can be switched per meet. Just be mindful that you guys are actually taking the time to get them the proper training if you're going to switch them in those events.
So you already got you and him talking. So
I'm telling you now, it's gonna be a rude awakening when y'all first get out there. So everybody quiet now, but it's definitely gonna be a rude awakening when y'all first get out there.
You got your goddamn phone, don't you? If y'all already talking, that's it. We don't really need. I just need the footage of like main important key points.
That is very key and important too. Depending on the event that your child does, that is going to depend on the type of cleats and shoes that your child needs. Do not run and go buy cleats right now. Do not run and buy cleats the first week of practice. Don't do that. When you kind of hone in and the coaches kind of can do the assessments and tell what events your child will be running in. If you know your child's a sprinter, then buy sprinter cleats. Or sprinter spikes, that's what they're called in track. Buy sprinter spikes. If you know your child is a distant runner, look for distant running spikes. Don't buy a distant runner spikes for a sprinter child. That's gonna help give your child shin splints and stuff like that and mess them up. So don't rush and buy cleats right now. Be looking for them, but don't rush and buy cleats right now. Hone in and let these coaches do their assessments and figure out what events it is that your child is going to be doing, or what events your child will be honing in on. Any more questions?
Give me a wide shot.
Yes.
Give me a wide.
So most track meets, 9 times out of 10, they will be on Saturdays. Some on Saturday. Usually we have districts on Saturday and Sunday, but districts fell on Friday and Saturday this year. Regionals, excuse me. So that's another thing I wanted to tell y'all. All the track meets leading up to district, we call those practice meets. Although those are official meets, they're called practice meets. And the reason they're called practice meets are because, yes, you can run the meets, yes, you can participate in the meets, yes, you can medal in the meets, but they don't count until you get to district. So once you get to district, those are the meets that actually count till you go into the next level of regional. If you make it past district and you get to regionals, the people who get to regionals then have an opportunity to qualify to get to Junior Olympics. If those athletes that qualify from regionals get to Junior Olympics, then Junior Olympics this year should be in, I think, Iowa? I don't know who in Iowa. We ain't going to Iowa this year. I told them they can have that. I think we're going to probably go to Speed Capital this year. But that's when those events, come, and that's those events that actually tell your child where they rank at and what position they are amongst all the kids in the country, amongst all the kids in the United States. So all of those rest of those track meets, districts, just keep them in mind. Districts is the meet that actually counts as far as starting to hone in on their placement and where there are, the importance and stuff. Some of these meets, if you go out of town, I mean, just taking effect, unless y'all like driving, being tired and driving back, you might want to get a hotel for a night, depending on how far the meets are. I'm sure. Marble Falls is like an hour.
Yeah.
So for us, we went to Dallas. So I'm gonna tell you right now, Dallas meets, we try not to do Dallas meets because you're gonna find trial and error with some of these meets.
I'm trying to stay as local as possible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to stay as close as possible.
We appreciate that.
Last year, we ran 4 meets. We ran 4 meets. Okay, put it like this. The first year, we ran 10. And out of 10, we had about 60 kids who were through our track season. And by the time we weaned down, we probably took maybe 7 or 8 to Junior Olympics because of how much we ran and how much the kids were hurt. Last year, we ran 4 meets. We went to districts. We had I think we had about 70 or 80 kids last year. We took everybody to districts. From districts to regional, we took about 50. From regionals to Junior Olympics, we took 45. So that was the difference in, like, we took most of our track club. And in some of these events too, when you get to, some of these track meets, when you get to them as a track club, the better you produce, the better your ranking. The better your ranking, they be like, oh, okay, well, let me go ahead and give you some money for your track club. That type of stuff. So that's why it's kind of important to take care of your kids, but to also listen to the coaches so that they can actually better prepare them for some of these events out there that they're going to get there and run.
When it is time to get your spikes, come to us and we will make sure that your child has the right spikes for those shoes. They may have the right shoes, but if you get the wrong spikes for them, some track meets may disqualify your child for having the wrong spike in them, right? Because they got Christmas trees, they got pyramids, they have needles.
No, they're not gonna, well, they're not gonna buy them right now, only because of the fact that most of them that get their shoes, the spikes are coming with. So the only thing that y'all would need to worry about getting, if anything, is getting additional spikes. That's something y'all can get off of Amazon or something like that. Cheap, $2. You can even go back to the store and get some.